Hi, this is Rob, General Manager of International Relocations here at SDC International Shipping. I want to talk to you a little bit today about relocating and shipping your household goods from the United States to England and the UK. Since you're watching this and you're on the website, more than likely you already know if and when you're going to be moving, relocating, and to where and why. But I will say that relocations to the UK is our number one or number two in terms of volume business. This is what we really do quite a bit, and it seems to grow every year. From my experience, clients that are moving to the UK typically have family there, or they retired and have family, a lifestyle change, world-class educational institutions, and of course there's the benefit of the language we speak here in the U.S. is the same that they speak in the UK, mostly. Again, we do a lot of this, and we've been at this for a couple decades, so we have a lot of experience. And what I want to talk to you here, I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible, but I want to talk about basically one thing, but two sides of the coin. First, what I believe is important for a prospective client to look for in an international shipper, and then the other side of that coin, what are the red flags? What to look out for? So I'll jump right in and say, first of all, I think experience and expertise is pretty obvious. There are more steps and gears within the mechanism of shipping from door to door from the US to the UK, including clearing customs, than a lot of people know. And so therefore it's very, very important to work only with a shipper who understands the intricacies or potential intricacies, especially if you're moving something special, a vehicle, a motorcycle, lawn and garden or farm equipment, everything is treated a little bit differently, and to not understand the process and be able to get everything taken care of can create challenges and delays, which ultimately cost money or worse. So critically important, only work with a company that has a lot of experience and is fully expert in a shipment from the US to the UK. Next, another thing I would always look for is to make sure the international shipper that you work with has an internal and dedicated support and logistics team. So what is that? Well, let's look at an example where a client books with an international shipper and they don't have an internal dedicated support and logistics team. In that case, sometimes the shipping company just sort of almost disappears. There's not a lot of engagement, not a lot of communication, and that can create problems, as I mentioned. So at SDC International Shipping, we have a dedicated internal support and logistics team, and when we book a job with a client, at that point, we introduce and bring into the fold a logistics and support manager who is expert in that particular country or region, in this case the UK, and they immediately begin the process of making sure and creating a checklist of all of the things that are going to be necessary in order to get the job initiated, shipped, cleared customs, and delivered. And so that any paperwork or documents or anything like that, we're here to answer questions, field questions, and help with anything from start to finish. And any company that you work with should be similar. Online reviews, pretty simple, pretty standard and basic. But check the online reviews, Google, Yelp. The online reviews should be numerous, and they should be 4 to 5 stars. We know it's human nature. Someone along the way is going to leave a bad review. That's acceptable, of course, but the preponderance of reviews should be 4 or preferably 5 stars. So make sure you take a look at that. Another one, this is really important, visual surveys, actually seeing what is being shipped. So at SDC International Shipping, we try to always see, if at all possible, what is being shipped and really understand the client's needs. Now we can do that in person, and nowadays it's much more common to do a virtual type visual survey using Zoom or FaceTime or WhatsApp video, something of that nature. That allows SDC and the client to sort of get to know each other a little bit, and for us at SDC to really truly understand what the move is all about. We're going to handle a wooden coffee table a little bit differently than we would an antique extra large glass curio cabinet. Our mission, our job, is to make sure that everything is shipped from point A to point B, and it arrives in point B from point A in the exact same condition. So it's important to really understand the needs of the client. And also the visual survey allows for questions to come to the shipper. And you can ask any questions of us when we do that as well. Now, let's look at the other side of the coin. Let's think about the red flags, what I call red flags, or things to watch out for. And a little unfortunate, but let's think about a proper, true international moving company like STC International Shipping versus a broker. Well, a true, proper international moving company is just that. They are a company in the business of moving people from point A to point B, including customs and handling or assisting at least with everything along the way. That's a true shipping moving company. And let's contrast that with a broker now. So a broker may or may not be a company. Could just be a website, a marketing company, and they got some phones. So a broker may book a job and then begin the process of finding a third party to handle one or more of the components of the job. So that's not good for some obvious reasons, but let's just talk about a couple of them. First of all, communication and engagement, and handling all of the, this document's needed, this piece of paper is needed, you need a copy of your passport, need inventory, these things. If they don't know that, and there's no engagement, or if they're missing something, it's going to be very difficult to deal with the people who are actually completing every element of the move. At STC, you're talking to STC, you're talking to everybody from point A to point B. Secondly, quality control. A broker isn't really the mover, and therefore they have theoretically not a lot of control over the quality control, because they're just hiring, the helper or the lowest priced gun of the day, or more than one perhaps. So it's a really important, let me repeat, to work with a company that is a true, legitimate, bona fide international moving and shipping company. That's critically important. Another one, bait and switch or lowball pricing. That's a red flag, or something. It's not a red flag. It's something to watch out for. In this industry, sometimes you will get a company who comes in with a low price, just a low price to get the engagement, maybe get the booking. But at the end of the day, it may or may not be based on anything in reality. Because at the end, they may surprise you with some new charges that you didn't know about, and they were not included in the proposal because they didn't know everything, or they just intentionally lowered the price. So watch out for the unreasonably low price guys out there. It's going to be what I call lowball or bait and switch. Another one, upfront deposits. I think this is definitely a red flag. I would be suspicious. It would be a red flag to me if any company were to request an upfront deposit. Is it okay, I think, to ask for a security authorization? Yes, I think that's reasonable. But to ask for upfront money prior to shipment is definitely a red flag to me. So definitely watch out for those. Okay, so that's gonna do it for this particular segment. I'm going to break this into 3 segments. This being the first one. The next segment is going to be a little longer, a little more in depth. It's what I call the nuts and bolts, sort of the meat of the move from A to B, A to Z. And that is going to go through all of the steps and all of the things that always come up in working with clients moving from the United States to the UK. And the third and final segment is going to be a little shorter, and it's sort of the miscellaneous and legal. We'll talk a little bit about healthcare and various little things that I think are helpful, and also, again, come up all the time when I'm working with clients moving to the UK. So I look forward to seeing you in the next segment.